Kyle, I cannot believe it. The organization is fucking dead!
Now, you see, about halfway through this arc, we thought we were going to be screaming another name, but we'll get into that later. But indeed, sadly, the organization is freaking dead. At least we assume so. They could make a last-minute comeback, but I don't think so. That guy got decapitated, don't forget.
Well, what's his name is probably still alive, too. Well, they all left. I guess they're, like, still
That's
there
true.
to some
They'd
extent.
run away.
Literally only one guy was left. You know what? I take it back. The organization is probably fine. But, I don't know.
They said that guy was the leader, though.
That's true. Yeah. I guess all's well that ends well.
True. And maybe we should have been that decapitated guy's head as our image. Maybe that would have been good.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Or maybe I should have been holding your head. I've taken over these reviews. This is now the Kyle Show.
The Kyle Show?
First order of business is... I don't know. I don't really have any dictations.
Well, we can say that we are covering chapters 96 to 131 here. Thank you to the person in the comments who actually gave us a stopping point to aim for. I think this was a good place to stop.
Whose names you certainly have memorized, right?
Memorized, that's funny. Mr. Base Max over here.
Oh my goodness,
Base
I was going
Max.
to find it.
Yes, thank you. And of course, our good friend Red Moon Blood Moon 3161 left another set of essays. I'm very happy that pointing it out did not deter him from continuing, because he has a lot.
There's
I can't wait
comments on this video.
when we finish Claymore. I am going to go back and read all of these comments. I am too scared to read them now. I'm very sorry.
I think I read a few of them. I don't remember exactly what they said, but, you know, I don't remember a lot of things. But we aren't covering the whole thing today, so we have stopped roughly, for those who don't understand. We ended last time where I think one of the twins was impaled, but Priscilla hadn't shown up yet, and it looked like the other twin was probably going to beat the Great Reefle. And we've gone all the way up to basically Claire coming back and the fight just beginning in the city where we are fighting some nameless awakened being. So hopefully the people out there generally remember these 2 points and don't spoil anything moving forward. But we do only have 24 chapters left, so, you know, it would be sad if we got spoiled at this very late date. Because I don't know how this ends. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you don't either. So
yep, I still know nothing.
Times.
Yeah, we are right before what appears to be the last battle. I would think it is the last battle, but I don't know. They could always throw something in the way that I didn't expect.
Claymore's known to do a little bit, so but I am also almost certain that this is the final stand here.
Yeah.
So I guess we should backtrack to the beginning and talk overall, I guess. Do you want to go for you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have to immediately start with talking about how my heart is broken because Reefle of the West is dead, it seems. I was waiting for the comeback.
It is interesting.
I was begging for the comeback.
Me too.
But you know who still surprises me? Every single time, you know who still surprises me when he's still standing?
I think I do.
That damn Dauf, or whatever his name is. That Dauf guy, that Drauf.
Yes.
Whatever his name.
Dead,
he's a freak. Sure he's definitely done. But every time he is still standing, I'm like, dude, what are you? I don't know how he's so powerful. But he outlasted
Reefle's boyfriend.
He outlasted her.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me.
Now... But he was like infected for his last stand.
Yeah, he was kind of out of it, but
also Priscilla's kind of using Reefle's move right at the end. So I don't know if she's gonna like spiritually like hold her back in a climactic moment or something. Because it was odd because like what kind of happens at the end of the part we left off on, the little fight, is like the big monster twins, as in the older twins, not the current twins, who they're just dead now, had like become this blob monster, and Priscilla
Hmm.
had like killed its outer shell, and then it had absorbed Claire and Priscilla into this thing. And I wasn't sure if it had also absorbed Reefel or she had died beforehand. So it was kind of a mystery, and especially when they were going to undo it. And so I guess Reefel is dead, but maybe she's a part of this mix somehow. I'm not really sure.
Well, the last time we saw
oh,
her,
she was all cut up.
yeah, she was like, her corpse was tossed on the ground, which, like, I don't know. If I see half of a body with like the limbs gone, I really don't think the person's dead if they're like involved with Yoma stuff at all. So I didn't immediately think she was dead, but they definitely treated it like it was her body and not her. So maybe she is really gone. But I don't want her to be.
Yes,
I swear she's like the best antagonist, and I miss her. But so this was supposed to be overall thoughts, and I went very specific because my heart is broken. I really like these set of chapters. I think I liked it more than the last set. So I'm pretty happy, and I'm looking forward to the ending.
Interesting. I feel very mixed on this set of chapters. I think it was a very weird bunch. I read most of these today. Actually, for the first time, Mia finished before me in one of these little chapter things. So I take that as a personal ego hit, and I will be crying later. But I didn't have time to cry because I had to read all these chapters. I finished reading the chapters like less than an hour ago, I think. But I read the first bit like probably right after we recorded last time, which I think was 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
But I think because I stopped after Mariah had died. And so I sort of lived with that for like a week and a half. And then it was just like, oh, she's alive. So I really didn't feel good about that. But also her initial death was not good because it was funny because last time we were hyping things up, and I think you specifically were very high on Reefel and obviously Mariah. And they were both kind of chucked to the side at the very beginning of this. And I was like, oh, this is going to be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, I was not convinced.
But the Mariah one is undone rather quickly.
Yeah, thankfully.
Oh, weren't you? I was like, oh my god, she jobbed just to get this number 10 girl over, and I was like, this isn't very interesting. This isn't very good.
I was sitting with it for a minute.
It.
I was like, look, I don't think this is real. If this is real, Claymore sucks. That was my perspective on it. Because if she went out like that just to, like you said, gas up number 10 and her ability to like control people with Yoma energy, I would have been mad. But yeah, no, that was not the case, and the Phantom Maria continues to be one of the best characters, probably the best. Honestly, I'm still clinging on to Galatea because I love her, but God, she's so good.
It was interesting because the beginning kind of they were doing a thing where they were throwing away a lot of toys, like the big twins that have been built up with were killed by Priscilla very quickly.
Crazy.
Reefel was gone. Darth was gone. It looked like Claire was out of commission for a little while, so it felt like we were kind of sacrificing everything to like the Ultra Priscilla here. And so I thought maybe Mariah dying was like, oh, so now it's really just about Claire and Priscilla. And also, it seemed like it was too early for the organization to go, but it seemed like they didn't have any powers. I guess another thing I'm kind of mixed on with this group is that it feels too late to be introducing characters, and that's kind of all we did this entire run of chapters.
That's fair.
It was a lot of new characters.
Yeah, they like needed to give
pretty cool.
Yeah, they needed to give the organization some kind of ammo. You know, because like.
That is true.
But that's what Alicia and Beth should have been. You know, that was kind of like they were the organization, like I guess that and the what are they called? The like abyssal feeders or whatever.
Yeah.
They
also went like away really quickly.
Yeah, they kind of did low key nothing except when Dietrich brought him back, but
yeah, they beat Isley though.
True.
I think it is one of Claymore's like most interesting elements / the thing that rubs me the wrong way a lot of the time is how liberal they are with introducing new threats and throwing away old ones very quickly.
Yes.
And at some point, it makes it very exciting. Like when Mariah died, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of impressive," but I was also kind of like upset, like, "Oh, I don't know if we should have been making Mariah. She's like one of the strongest characters in this." And famously, we complained last time that the Claymore's biggest issue was it not having the best characters, and we're just throwing them away here. But I also was like, "Oh, it's kind of cool that Isley dies and Mariah just dies, and Beth and Alicia or whatever just died immediately." I think um, it is an interesting thing because I feel like people talk about this with One Piece a lot, where it's like, how exactly is everything going to line up at the end? Like, who is fighting who? Who is the final bad guy? You have like the One Piece, like, is it going to be the government or Blackbeard? Is it going to be Shanks or something crazy? What's going on here? Here, I kind of felt like it was I was playing those interesting mind games with Claymore, but it just ended up being all Priscilla. And I think a thing I admired for all the parts besides this one was that there were like, it was always like those three-way battles that were really interesting. We had the one in Rabona or whatever it's called, the Holy City, where it was uh, Mama and little girl, I forget their names, and
Yeah,
Glacier
Clarice
and
and
the awakened
Miata.
being, and then yes, that's right. And then there was also the one with Ophelia, when it was her, the awakened being, and Claire, and stuff like that. We did that a few times, and we were doing that with that Priscilla fight, or before Priscilla showed up, kind of. Um, Here it was always just one versus one, and especially I think some of the fights definitely dragged for me in this one, where I was like, "Oh, can we like get this over with?" Um,
Which one? I mean, there's
so
not
yeah,
that
I don't
many
know.
big fights, and there's kind of three main fights, including the
I think
one
it's
we
like all
ended on.
fighting.
Is it mostly just like the organization fight? Because I kind of agree.
That's true. And then there's also like Mariah fighting the organization warriors before that. Then there is the fight we end on, and then we're sort of starting a fight at the end.
Yeah,
This is another thing I was kind of thinking of, where I was like, maybe it would be better if Claymore was a little bit less of a battle shonen. Even though this whole time I've been talking about how it actually has really good fights and its sense of hopelessness is really good. Um, I guess that wasn't as permissive for me in this part, except for the beginning. And it is interesting because in those previous fights, it was like you really didn't know who was going to win a lot of the time, and it was interesting. I think when Reefel was fighting like the new warriors, that was one of the most interesting parts of that. Where it's like, is Reefel just going to job to the new warriors, or is she just going to beat them up? And she ended up beating them up. But it was interesting just the dynamic of that and the going back and forth and trying to read which character was being too arrogant for the narrative to reward them and stuff like this. I feel like here it was all kind of straightforward. And also I didn't feel like I guess I felt this in two parts. Where at the beginning I didn't realize that the fight we were at was over when we moved into the Mariah stuff. I thought that was still going on and we were just cutting to the Mariah stuff a little bit, but like Deneve and everybody would still be like fighting or trying to get Claire back. But then they just go back to the city and then go after Mariah, which very much felt like a side plot to me. And it's like, oh, actually, that fight had already, like, that had ended. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, it had
I
ended.
also
That was
agree.
kind of an anticlimax. And then I kind of felt that way um, towards the back end too, where it's like, um, I expected Priscilla to actually show up because I didn't realize she was also in the blob. I don't know what I thought she was. I thought she'd just flown off or something. So it's like, oh, like all the beings are going to awaken. We're going to fight him for a chapter. Then Priscilla's going to show up, and then something interesting will happen here. But really, it was just Priscilla showing up for like a millisecond because her arm or whatever, and she like evaporated, and it turned out she was over there. So I felt like there was more of a climax that was going to come in that arc too. But then it didn't just come, and then we like pivot back to where we were kind of at the beginning with the organization now out of the way. Um, and I guess that was kind of the One Piece point I was making, where it's like, is the organization going to be the bad guys at the end? No, we've kind of cleared that. They're off to the side. And I understand that we sort of got two main plot lines, which is like Mariah versus the organization and Claire versus Priscilla / trying to find Raki. But I guess they didn't always seem as split up as they kind of are in this resolution.
Mm.
I don't know. I also read this all very quickly and haven't thought about it too much. So I'm not too down on it. It's just like I feel like the final battle could have been tacked on to the where we started. And I feel like that would have been a good pace and momentum. And this kind of felt like a bunch of side stuff that is important overall, like very important. The organization is now done and like all the trainees and everything revolted. But I don't know. I feel like sort of the placement of things, and maybe Isley dying like that wasn't the best idea, and maybe we should have built that up and prolonged things for longer and had us tackle individual things. But also maybe not. Maybe Claymore's pace and its ruthlessness and a lot of its side characters is important. But then we also get to the point where it's like a lot of people have nearly died now and not died at all. So I'm pretty sure Mariah isn't going to die now. One of the side girls from our main group had no limbs, and she came back. And there were other ones too where it's like, well, now it kind of feels like nobody's dying except for sort of the peripheral bad guys who we have so many of, that it is kind of interesting to find out which ones are going to die. But now we kind of understand that it's really just Priscilla. So I don't know. That's kind of a whole mix of things.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Sort of my more negative overall thoughts, I guess. Go ahead.
It does kind of remind me of the Attack on Titan thing, where the start of the story is so convincing in how ruthless it's going to be and that nobody's safe. And then in the, once you get past that initial, I guess, purging of the cast, pretty much all the central characters are pretty clear, and they are fine for most of the story, except a couple of exceptions near the end when it's time to actually start killing characters. But I don't think...
Yeah.
I think Attack on Titan is often attributed for being, like, ruthless and that anyone could die at any time. But when you look back on it, it's pretty clear who is important, who isn't, and who's just being... like, who's set up just to die quickly. And maybe if, like, you get attached to a character really quickly, like Levi Squad kind of characters, then maybe it feels that way. But, you know, once you have your core cast lined up, they don't really go. And I feel like Claymore has kind of fallen into that as well, where a lot of characters were set up in, like, the pre-time skip and then killed. But once you have, like, your main 7 coming from the battle in the north, they are the main cast, and so far they have been okay. Obviously, Maria is carrying death flags this entire time, and she continues to. And I do think those death flags are used pretty well to make you to set up her starting this rebellion instead of like being massacred by all of the other Claymores here. I do think that was good, but I also, like I said before, I was not very convinced by her seeming death when she first tried to attack the organization by herself. Because one, I didn't believe that she would think her against the entire organization would be a good plan, even with Alicia and Beth not there. But I also, again, felt like the way she went down, being controlled by the number 10 to like see things, was also kind of, it felt like she wouldn't go down that way. You know, she's more than that. And she definitely is, and that's why that wasn't her actual death. But I felt like that was the only thing that made that death not feel convincing. But all the death flags she was carrying up until that point, it felt like, okay, this is possible for sure. So I guess my main point is I don't think they are willing to toss away any of the main cast, but I do agree that they do toss villains away very quickly. No, sorry, you had a thought on that.
I don't think it's a problem that they don't kill them off. I think it almost is the point of like, if they do end up killing somebody off in this main fight, which is probably likely now that I think about it, it's probably more likely going to be Galatier or something rather than Mariah at this point, I think. It feels like they all surrounded Mariah and like blood went everywhere. So it's like, and then the girl with all their limbs cut off. So it's like, it's also like when you're going to do such like violent things and they can just come back from it, it almost, it feels like, well, how am I ever going to believe anybody is dead type thing? And this is probably going to bite us in the ass when somebody actually does die and you're like, Though, sort of from narrative awareness, if it's at the end, you'll probably buy into it more. So I'm not certain. I guess we'll have to wait and see how effective it is.
Yeah. Because that's exactly what I was saying with Refall.
Yeah, they don't.
Where I didn't really believe she was dead, because I've seen plenty of people have no limbs and be like half a body.
Yeah, that was certainly that was definitely unclear, but I don't know. I think like I could definitely see her spirit doing something. Like she gets one last send off or something like
I
that.
hope so.
Though I'm not banking on it too much. It was very interesting because we did talk a lot about Reefa last time. So those chapters where she is just getting beaten up by like 3 people is like, oh my god. And there was a part where Priscilla first showed up and started beating up the twins, where I was like, oh my god, is Reefa going to survive because of Priscilla?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But then Priscilla turned on her too. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything else to say about the things I had to say? Because I was going to pivot.
I think overall I don't really like the way most antagonists were used in this section. And I think you kind of felt a very similar way where they introduced new ones and then, well, one, it was introducing new ones. I did like the 3 number 1s that they brought back. I thought they were cool. And I liked the dynamic
I think
the
those
3 of them
backstory
had
chapters
together.
are really strong.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. But
it was just like the initial what are we doing here? Like we got like 50 chapters left. It ends up kind of working. Like they're all kind of wrapped up. I don't think we're going to get too much more emotional from the one that survived. I think she's probably
from Cassandra. Yeah, they're definitely wrapped up. She's more of a plot device now.
Yeah. She is cool. I like her, like how she kind of reverts in her awakened form, where she's like calling everybody crap all the time.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That was kind of cute, and she's always just chewing.
Yeah, I like the chewing. It's funny.
That was cool. It was kind of like Luffy Denji energy, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cute, funny. So I like that, and the other one was really hateable. And the other one was kind of okay.
Yeah, it was Roxanne and Hysteria, Roxanne. I believe. Hysteria was the one obsessed with her own beauty, and Roxanne was the one who steals everything from people, which was sick. I thought she was awesome.
That was
She's
cool.
terrible.
And then we had the Dirt Eater.
And then the Dirt Eater, right? Yeah, Dust Eater Cassandra. Yeah, they were good. Honestly, I like them more than some of the other kind of whatever Claymore / awakened beings that we've had before. I thought they were fun.
Yeah.
But
because we even did introduce some more Claymores with the
No, go ahead.
The number 7 girl. Oh, what was she? The one with the strings.
Oh yes, Anastasia.
That's right, and she had one friend too.
Oh,
yeah, they were all.
Was it Nikki? I believe, or maybe she
was.
Because
there was a group before. One of them was Nikki. Yeah,
she may have been the one that was one of the ones that was already at the organization. That I kind of don't remember because we did bring in Anastasia and her group, and then we went to the organization where there were a couple more Claymores with names, and those two kind of meshed together a little bit.
Yeah, there was the ones that Reefa was fighting, and there was also the new number 10 girl. Yeah, there was a few.
I do like Dietrich of
but
the
even
new
then,
ones.
I think in the end, yeah.
There
was also the Renee girl from last time, who I don't think died, but she wasn't in this group of chapters, so she might pop up in the finale. To do something.
Yeah, she ran away, right? She was the one who was captured by Reefa, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, was she?
Was that Renee?
She was the one with the dreads that interacted with. Yes, she was captured, right? Because she interacted with the Raki, and then she, yeah. Interesting. Should I go to my pivot now?
Yeah, go for it.
So let's talk about Priscilla, I guess. She sort of has a personality awakening here, and that was something we commented on a lot last time, where we were doubting her possibility to be the final villain because she had a lack of a personality and she was very childlike, and it seemed like she was reverting because she wasn't eating. But now it's since been revealed that she was clinging to Raki not out of affection, but because she smelled to basically Claire, who reminds her of Teresa on Raki. But she hasn't really realized this, and she has a personality. It's kind of just a villainous personality. But what do you think about this sort of switch up and how she has come out, I guess?
Yeah, I am pretty convinced now that she really is just going to be the kind of antagonist at the end. I don't know, because they're still playing into the whole revenge thing, and I'm very Vinland Saga pilled all the time. So whenever a story is really focused on a character that is honed in on their revenge, I am pretty much expecting it to be subverted every time. I can't help it. And if Priscilla really is the final antagonist, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like, it feels like the story has been trying to be surprising. And it feels like surprise has been a very high priority. So I would be surprised if the kind of ending priorities play out how I expected them to. So I don't know. I think she's good and she's very intimidating, and she definitely feels like they do a good job making her feel like a step above everything else that has come before. So like I'm overall cool with it, but I don't really care for Priscilla. I don't think Rocky's connection to her has been really used effectively, because he's still pretty much like, he's like, well, I mean, if that is Priscilla, whatever, like I'm Team Claire, like that's his priority. So I'm not like,
he kind of said that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure when she comes out of it and she's like kind of
there's
in
definitely
her
going to
full
be a
form,
moment.
and yeah, I'm sure it's going to be used more like in the moment going into this battle. But as it stands, like I thought that moment in front of the I don't know, like the cocoon or whatever you want to call it, I thought that would be kind of a really pivotal moment for Rocky, but it kind of wasn't. And it was, I don't know, it just makes me feel like everyone's...
Oh, because he saw Priscilla.
Yeah, because he saw Priscilla there. So I thought it would make things complicated for him, but so far it hasn't. It certainly could. Maybe like once he really sees her as a person alongside Claire, it might be more difficult. But so far, that hasn't been as interesting as I thought.
I think there's a few like obviously Teresa is going to be some part of this ultimate climax, which is cool. We like Teresa. First of all, when we were reviving former number ones, I was like 1,000,000% certain that Teresa was going to be one of them. But it wasn't, which was interesting. And they did imply that they chose like the strongest ones, but they also said it was the strongest ones that they had like fully formed. But also that one girl that's still alive got completely cut up. So
yeah,
well, I guess maybe they really put Teresa's flesh into Claire, and that's why.
That's what I was thinking. Her remains were used for Claire, so she wasn't available. I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess that makes sense. But obviously, she's going to make some sort of spiritual experience here. So there's a few Priscilla moments that I think have to happen. I think at one point she's going to like have Claire beat and like charge at her, and Raki's going to get in the way, and she'll have a moment of hesitation or something. And that'll force the three of them to have a sort of moment. Yeah. And I think definitely like at some point she is going to like become, when confronted with Teresa, it is kind of the mystery left in the manga at this point, where it's like she is like obsessed with trying to get back to Teresa. I don't know what is going to happen when they have some sort of an encounter. I don't know if she's going to revert to being like the girl she was before she like awakened there. I don't know if they're going to have a talk. Yeah. I don't think Claire is probably going to kill her in the end. I think it'll probably have a case where she'll revert back into her kid form, and she'll sort of go with Raki and the other girls, the other little girls that Raki is like...
Oh, the trainees?
The dad of now. Yeah. And maybe she'll like live with them. Yeah, because I think it'll sort of be like, oh, now he's the Claire with the girls and stuff like that. And
Claire that's cute, yeah. Do something.
I don't know. Also... I am like 50-50 on Claire dying now. There's something specific that happened. Oh, I guess they sort of threw you off the scent, because at the end, there's like characters speculating that she's going to do something reckless and get herself killed in this final battle. But then Genevieve, I think, says like, we're not going to let that happen.
Yeah, I mean...
Which has kind of thrown me off that idea, I think.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they'll certainly... I don't see a world where Claire does not do something potentially self-destructive in this battle.
Well, yeah, she's going to fully transform, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe she will be like... I don't know. Because I honestly do not know what the rules are at this point when it comes to awakening and coming back. Because they still talk about it like, if you awaken, there's no going back. But, like... they certainly do go back quite often at this point. So I don't really know. I don't know. I guess reverting to a human form isn't really the same as going back.
Jean had to die the big time, right?
What was that? Sorry?
Jean had to die the real time it happened, though, right?
Yeah, good. I don't know. That's the thing. I feel like it's not very clear to me what the stakes are when it comes to Awakening at this point. And it could be me not paying enough attention. I could see it, but
no, I don't think so. I think they play fast and loose that we can do what we want.
It's definitely
there is a ending where they all have to like awaken or something into their forms to fight Priscilla, but then they all get reverted back. I could see that happening. I don't know how they would all get back or what would happen. I don't know. Like Araki is around if Claire transforms and he can hug her foot or something and she'll come back. It's literally happened before, right? She was going to awaken, I think, when they were in the Holy City the first time, and he stopped it.
I do think
so. Yeah, I could see that happening
with Priscilla. Well, I guess. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about in that? I guess about Claire and potentially awakening and all that, because there's something about Priscilla I wanted to talk about.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because we were kind of talking about it a little bit before about, where does this all go with Priscilla? Is she really just going to be, is it really going to be like we kill Priscilla and we win? Because I feel like with Maria's like rebellion here, they make a big point about not killing warriors. Like they kill what's her name?
The awakened ones.
Yeah, they kill like Roxanne and Cassandra, but like they're saying like, oh, they're kind of not even really alive right now. And the story does kind of reinforce that. So again, this whole point of everyone who is a warrior for the organization is a victim.
They're just
and they don't want to kill them. Exactly. So what happens when Priscilla's beaten and she's like in this child form again, I imagine, because that's what happened with Isley, right? He beats her and then she is in this child form.
Well, he didn't beat her, right?
Well, oh yeah, you know what? Good point. That was the rumor that was going around in the world that he had beat her and that was it. But she reverts to this child form, and if that were to happen again, right, is Maria going to be resolved to say like, well, we can't kill her? Is that going to be the kind of, I don't know, is that going to be the resolution that, everyone's a victim and we can't kill her? Like, I feel like it's going that way, but I don't see anything interesting it can say in doing that. I don't know. But that's where it feels like it's going.
Not the best.
Yeah.
But I think so. I think they've already set that up, right? With like where Claire has repeated like, my only reason for living is to get revenge, but then they're all like, well, pretty obvious that's not true love. And she sort of has to admit it. But there is going to be a moment where she's going to like try and kill her or something, and they'll stop her, I think, along with Araki. And that'll sort of be a thematic moment, I guess. There's something we kind of didn't comment on, is that like the twin monster thing is just like gone, I think.
The twin monster thing, like, Rafaela and
felt like that was going to be a bigger deal.
Honestly, I don't know. Once they transformed into that big thing, I was kind of like, okay, they're like an obstacle now. The fact that the obstacle is now done, I don't know. That could very much come back, but like they made it sound like that's world ending. Maybe it's merged with Priscilla in a way.
Yeah,
like they're implying Cassandra will synchronize.
They comment that there's two. Yeah, there's like two things inside Priscilla fighting, so maybe it is like the twins thing.
Oh,
is like the
yes, you're right. Actually, that is it.
Energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
because it also looks like she's using Rufal's attack, right? So I don't know. Maybe that thing absorbed Rufal, and that's how that's coming out. But I'm not sure. But yeah, I guess maybe the twin thing could come back a little bit. But also, like, Claire comments that she has, like, her memories and stuff, because they did have that fight internally, which I think was a part of this group of chapters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Also, the Teresa thing is definitely built up again by like the one of the girls' comments.
Yes,
I think it's the
Hysteria
one
was
that
killed by her.
yeah.
It is implied, at
Well,
least.
she
She
wasn't
said
killed
faint
by her, but she
smile.
was wounded. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that was
And
the
then
one that
somebody else took
stuck
the
with
final
her
blow or something.
before the final
Yeah.
blow. Yeah. I don't know. They do so much with Teresa, and I really don't know how do you make Teresa more interesting. But there's definitely this implication that there's something about Teresa we don't know.
I think it's just going to be like she'll be able to like get through to Priscilla, I guess, because it seems like she's like the obsession of Priscilla. So I think Priscilla will like listen to her or something if she says like, "Calm down, stop fighting,"
Yeah.
or something like that. Or she'll give Claire some advice of how to unlock the power that she had with her her techniques or something.
Yeah. What do you think will happen there? Because Priscilla's
There's going to be
saying,
something there.
I get to kill her again, if I remember correctly. She said that when she kind of came back to
Yeah,
that
kind
form,
of.
right? So does she just want to kill Teresa again for fun? Is there a reason she would want to kill Teresa again? Or like, is it going to be subverted
Yeah, it
and
is
she
weird.
will she be like, I'm sorry for killing you? Because I could totally see that.
They'll have something like that. I don't think that'll be the initial reaction, though. I think
Yeah.
that is probably the most interesting thing going into the climax is how the Teresa Priscilla thing is going to play into this.
Yeah.
Also, there is that like universe like saying or like religion or whatever about Teresa and Claire. So that's probably
True.
going to get some sort of
Oh
explanation and
God, you're
some sort
right.
of like importance
I keep
where they're
forgetting
like
about
standing
that.
back to back or whatever, beating the
Yeah.
bad guys. So yeah. We'll that'll play into it somehow. I really have no idea how it'll exactly happen. I think it will be a make it break it moment for Priscilla being like just a bad guy or an actual great character if she has some sort of a great
Yeah.
Emotional climax here.
I feel like though
Yeah.
emotional climaxes in general have not I feel like post time skip, they have not really been set up well so far. I haven't felt emotional much at all compared because like I think about reading the Claire's backstory with Teresa, and I definitely cried for Teresa when like Claire kind of finally breaks through to her, right? And I feel like since the time skip, it's been so event driven that I haven't really felt for any of the characters. Obviously, I was bummed out that Reefel was dead, but that was more of a I don't know. I didn't feel emotional for Reefel dying because it felt like that was just kind of
that was
an
more like
event.
fighting the narrative type, like
Yeah, like it
this
was
is
going
obviously gonna happen, but
to,
like she's
yes,
cool, don't let
exactly.
it happen, type thing.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
I don't know. What is the most emotional Claymore moment? Because I don't think I'm as invested in the Teresa stuff as you. I definitely think Teresa is cool. Um, I remember comparing the Claire Teresa stuff to the Raki Claire stuff and thinking it was better.
It definitely was a better
Um,
version of that to me. I don't know. I can't think of an emotional moment
yeah,
that's really
certainly.
hit
I'm just
besides
thinking
that.
like, I guess my favorite moment is still probably like the tiger showing up or whatever the fuck, and then Claire having to transform to stop it. I think that was probably the most tense moment. I
That's
think
definitely
outside
true.
of that, like the Ophelia stuff, oddly, is the stuff that like sticks out to me of like
Yeah, I
her kind
agree,
of being a bit of a
actually.
tragic character.
I really did like the Ophelia stuff. I miss Ophelia.
Yeah, it's funny when she gets mentioned when Mariah brings her up sometimes. It's interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like it has been a lot of like quick plot things, which I think are it is like an interesting, unique kind of strength to the series. Like we also had the Raki Claire like reunion here, which was fine. It was a good little moment. I didn't have anything wrong with it. I just am not that invested in this
Yeah.
relationship. And Raki really doesn't even seem like the same character, so it's sort of um a whatever thing. It was cute when he reunited with the soldier dudes too.
Yeah, I did like that
That
with
was fun.
Claire's
It's
boyfriend.
funny that they're back again.
Yeah. Yeah, the
um,
holy city of Ramana or whatever is way more important than I thought it would be.
yes.
It's kind of the one city we actually care about, it feels like.
Yeah. I guess I kind of talked about this in the first part, I think, where it was like, maybe it was the second part where it feels like some of the stuff is too underdeveloped. Now, I think actually something we speculated on last time that's all but confirmed now is that we're probably not going to that other continent.
Yeah, it does not seem like it.
And I'm wondering if at the end of Claymore, it's going to be more a sort of like a. It was a good manga, but like there's a lot of like missed opportunity type stuff, like all the characters that sort of died too early, all the places we could have gone. Like we could have fleshed out the world maybe better. We could have had some more landmarks across the map. We could have had like slower arcs. We could have had maybe more fleshed out characters with more independent things to do. I wonder if that's gonna kind of be the vibe, because yeah, it kind of does feel underwhelming where it's like, oh, we're back at Rabin or whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
for a world
kind
that
of feels
I feel
like a small kind of city.
Exactly.
And there's also like the fact of like even the soldier characters who I like this. I like Claire's boyfriend, but like, oh, it is funny that the Raki Claire stuff wasn't romantic at all, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because we kind of talked about that a little bit, which is kind of good. I don't really need it. But even like the fact that those soldiers have come back twice now, it feels like the end of manga thing where like all the characters are reuniting at like the final location. But it kind of feels because they've come back once before and it hasn't been long enough for it to be like, oh, they're back again. It kind of feels like, oh, this is all we have. It's like these guys.
I totally
they're the
agree.
only reoccurring characters that aren't part of the main cast. And it's like it kind of feels a bit small. I even feel like I like Claymore a lot more than I liked Full Metal Alchemist. But when I was reading Full Metal Alchemist, obviously at the end, like everybody kind of converges back in the main city, and it very much feels like a big main city, and it feels like there's a million players. And Full Metal Alchemist, I think, is shorter than this. So it's very interesting. I think the chapters are probably longer too. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels a bit small, and even now we've got like new characters where it's like all these awakened guys. And I looked at the volume cover and the inside cover of the next volume, and like the inside cover was all of those guys, and like the titles were all like battles with the something. So I'm like, is the whole next volume battling these boring like newly introduced awakened guys? It's like I don't want that. I'm sure it'll be a little more, but it feels like I don't know. I guess we can't really fight Priscilla for 24 chapters. So if we spend 10 of them fighting these guys, I guess it gives everybody a little action scene before the very climax.
I guess. I do kind of like these guys.
But I know, I guess I'm a bit trepidatious.
I feel the same way.
They were interesting when they first showed up.
Yeah, I like the idea of, because it kind of recontextualizes awakened beings again, which, I don't know, again, it's a kind of fast and loose thing, where sometimes they are kind of human-ish and reasonable, and then sometimes they are just like, I need to feed, you know? And I feel like it's
just roaring monsters.
Just depends on whatever the story wants, but having this kind of group of them hanging out and they're just like, nah, we just want to watch. I think that's hilarious, and I do like them. I don't think they are worth spending a volume on, if that's what we're gonna get, but they're here. I feel like they should have been a one-off. Like they should have just been like this
about
group.
Those number one girls.
You think? Fair. And I feel like I enjoyed.
Well, yeah, I would have said that, and then they turned out well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these guys could turn out well, but like the idea of it is like, oh, I would really prefer to get over it. But maybe afterwards I'll have a different tune.
Yeah, that's fair. I would have really liked them as a you pass them by and it kind of just makes you start thinking. That's all. Just like, oh, they're not here to fight. They just want to watch. Like I feel like that's an interesting thing to just kind of leave you with.
Organization is gone.
Yes, going into the final battle, it's a kind of good note of like what really is the status quo now. What does it mean to be an awakened being? I think that could have been interesting, and I guess they're still kind of going that way, but we will see.
Well, because the two of them get thrown down and we've already killed them.
True.
And I think like they just kind of became evil guys. And I don't know if that's because Priscilla like stabbed them and that like overrid their individuality or something. But then there's also the very last thing we see is like two of them going up to Raki wanting to talk to him, which could be interesting. I don't know what they're gonna say.
Well, they're awakened.
Yeah, so I guess I have
males, right?
Yeah, they were.
I wonder if they're going to try to awaken Raki. Or I don't know.
Maybe, like, so we can fight in this last bit.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. I have thoughts on Raki. I don't know. If we want to talk a little bit more about what we're covering now, or go right into that? Okay, because I feel like Claymore does this a lot, not just with Raki, but even with the soldiers in Rabana, where it feels very inconsistent how capable humans really can be against the threats. Because, like, when we were first in Rabana, like, those soldiers, it felt like they were barely getting by with that kind of random Yoma that wasn't even an awakened being, if I remember correctly. It was just a Yoma that was...
Well, that was, like, a specifically strong, non-awakened one, right?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that's what it was. And they were kind of barely holding their own. Yeah. So, to have all of these soldiers still kind of capable is kind of crazy. And Raki is kind of the epitome of that, where he's like able to fight. I mean, I get it. The organization leaders are all just humans at the end of the day, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But like Raki being able to, and okay, fine. I guess they did say that the twins, like the new twins, were kind of holding back against him, but still, the fact that he was able to
then they weren't transformed, but
he was still able to hold his own against them to some extent, which is weird. I feel like Raki is like, the author really wants him to be cool, and he's allowed to kind of break the rules of power scaling for this world for the sake of being cool. I'm still kind of in the camp that whenever I see Raki, I kind of feel like he is the author self-inserting a cool guy.
He's intruding on our beautiful female space.
Yeah, that's
what Get out of here, Raki.
I do feel that way. I think he's just allowed to get away with a lot, while still just being a guy with a sword.
I mean, I think it's kind of fine. The twins thing, I guess. They weren't fighting so hard, I guess, is how you get around it. He really hasn't, like, we did make a conscious choice at some point to kind of remove him from the story of being the secondary main character, to now he is just, like, clearly, like, what, like 10th most relevant character, I'm guessing? Like, you'd put Mariah over him, you'd put probably even Galatier, Deneve, and
100%.
What's the other main one? Helen. Maybe not the other girls, but like he's pretty down the list now, and that was definitely a choice.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to.
It's a choice I like.
Yeah, that's fair. I am kind of no longer in the camp, or at least I'm no longer expecting him to be aligned against Claire in any way. He might do like a come to your senses, Claire, this isn't you kind of thing, but I don't think he would be ever aligned against her. But still very much reminds me of Sun Fire Punch, the way he's kind of was a secondary kid character following the protagonist along, and then they get separated, and now he's grown up and capable. Feels very Sun, but I don't see it going the way of Sun, where he's actually an antagonist.
No.
But I do think it makes sense that
Sun was
these guys
the shit out of Agni at the end.
Yeah, Sun kind of sucked at the end. I did not like Sun at the end.
No,
spoilers for Fire Punch.
And then Agni stole his name, and that was crazy.
Whoa, spoilers.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Start reading.
Skip to 1 second from now to avoid Fire Punch spoilers.
We won't talk about Fire Punch anymore. You brought it up, not my fault. Now, there was a few things that were kind of, it's kind of a pivots, but
okay.
What do you think about the Stitches thing and how underwhelming
that was the most underwhelming thing, frankly, like ever. I really thought it was going to be like a giant, like mouth, like a big mouth, monster mouth on their stomach or something.
Yes,
but
like
it's just like they have a big
intestine hanging.
Yeah, it's got like I thought it had to be something, but it's just like a big we are split open and sewn up. I'm like, Is that, yeah, I would probably be pretty disgusted, but I'm sure Rocky's like, dude, I've seen way worse. Like, I feel like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, it does a good job of like conveying I would definitely say like the kind of sexual assault allegory of being a Claymore, like the invasion of the body and like this wound that cannot be healed. And of course it is split from the bottom, which is definitely trying to invoke
and it's all the way down.
Some imagery there. So it definitely makes a lot of sense, but I get what it's going for, but the way it was built up since literally like the second or third arc, it was pretty much built up since we first got to Rabana, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it being just a big
and then
wound.
in the Teresa flashback, it was
True. Oh, yes, in the Teresa flashback. That's probably when it started then, right?
The guys didn't want to rape her because of her, which I don't know if I buy that even.
I buy that, to be fair. Like, I think, I don't know. I think at this point in the story, again, we've definitely seen worse. But those guys, they're kind of just like bad guys. Like they've definitely cut people up, you know. But do they really like? I imagine if they saw that, they'd be like, you know. But Rocky,
I feel like murdering bandits probably have sex with corpses all the time. So
wow,
probably
holy
have
moly.
heads cut off.
Perhaps.
Like this is Berserk bandits do that all the time, so it's like
Berserk bandits would be like even
now,
better.
Claymore isn't that type of story. I never expected that to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what were you anticipating for this?
It had to be like a hole with like a little Yoma face with its tongue sticking out or something. That was kind of what I was imagining. Like it was gross and brown or something, and it was like you can like see the inside, but it's like just kind of taped up, and I guess it doesn't heal. Even though Claire had sealed it up, but they had to cut it open or she would have died or something, I guess.
It was like that stuck out to me a lot. When she first comes out of the thing, the mass, she looks fine. Like they intentionally do this shot of her. You can see her full front, and she looks normal. But then it kind of splits
she was
open.
Split open. Like that would have been worse, right? Like
yeah, but they go out of their way to have like this kind of ethereal shot of her before this split open happens, and I guess that is kind of cool because for a moment you're like, oh, she's fine, and then it's like a very sudden like burst. But I don't know if they had her come out of it like guts spilling out. That I think that would have hit me harder. I don't know, but then I would have just thought she was injured.
That is gross.
Yeah, I don't know. Because then they say
just
like
had to stitch her up.
Yeah, they just stitch her up, and they like make this thing about like, oh, like if we don't stitch her up, her organs are going to be spilling out. Why not have the organs spilling out then? If that's going to be like the bad thing, I don't know. I get it.
Heal over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe there's more of an explanation somewhere. Like the Yomith stuff would burst out and kill her or something. I don't know. But yeah, whatever. I just thought that was a little bit disappointing. Another little detail that I thought was interesting was at the very end of the second last chapter we read, we kind of got all the credentials for the girls, and it was like 141st generation, which seems insane.
That is pretty insane. I agree.
Like the organization has been on this like continent for like 300 years trying to get fighters. Like how long has this war been going on? If they're holding up this well, how much do they need these warriors that I don't even know if they're using? Like it felt like it should have been like 6th generation, not like 135th. So that's a little confusing. Well, I guess they can just write it off as like it's a perpetual war that never ends.
Maybe the timeline is so.
And I guess I'd buy that.
I think I'm just so not like keeping up with the timeline enough to really. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I am not. I'm interested in the history of the world in terms of like past characters, but I don't really have much interest at all in the world as a whole. So I feel like I'm not really honed in on the timeline at all.
Yeah. Because we also got the like we saw more of the dragon people where there was like two different types. And I also didn't understand that entirely. They were like, then we get the thing and then this guy eats the brain and that's how we get a Yoma. And I was like,
Yeah, I
I don't
felt
know
like
if I followed that, but
yeah, I totally
cool.
agree. I feel like beating the organization was a very underwhelming thing. Because we killed this one guy who, like, sure, we've been, like, seeing a lot and everything, but do I have any personal, like, reason? Well, obviously, I don't like him. I don't like anyone in this organization, but do I have any... Is there any reason where I would be like, yeah, we got him, you know? It's... Maybe it's intentionally underwhelming, to be fair, where he's just, like, the one guy left, and he kind of gives some exposition, and then Maria just kind of kills him. I guess that's kind of the intent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It definitely didn't feel like an achievement.
He knew he was going to die, and yeah.
And I felt like that was an opportunity
if he went back, he would have been like punished.
Yeah, totally. I felt like there was an opportunity to reveal something a bit more groundbreaking there. Like, I really thought we'd like getting an explanation of how the Yomas are made. Like, cool. That's good info, I guess. But it's not like... That doesn't change anything about how I view the organization. It's just, how did they do this thing I already knew they were doing? And the thing...
I don't know if there is any big reveals left, though. That's like the...
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there really is. I mean, they kind of treat this... Because Maria says, all along, we warriors have been killing humans, which I felt like was pretty obvious and self-explanatory. But it's kind of treated like this big thing. I don't know. Obviously that sucks, but
it's also treated like this big moral thing that like I don't care about at all. Like I really wouldn't have cared if they were killing all the warriors. Afterward they like humanized them a lot and I'm like, oh, they're all our friends now, so we shouldn't kill them. But like if Mariah, like the first time Mariah was going, I was like I don't care if she kills them or doesn't kill them right now. But they have sort of invested in this sisterhood thing now, and so I like it now. It's just like, oh, we were killing guys. And they kind of do that when there's like a bunch of guy awakened beings on the path or whatever, and they all come running up for help. It's like, oh, well, what can you do? They're dead. And it's like, I'm not really too sad in retrospect that those Yomas were guys once.
I do find this, the male era stuff kind of interesting, and I kind of want a bit more of a glimpse into that. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Because
I think it would be cool to see him in like uniform or whatever.
Yeah, like what did the organization even look like at that point? But God, the organization, I'm honestly kind of glad they're out of the way at this point, because I think I am not really interested in the organization at this point. I don't know. Do you feel like they were dispatched at the right time, or do you feel like it was...
Yeah, I think it was fine.
Yeah, because I feel like we're kind of not really... At least I was not very interested in the organization at this point. I don't think they were built up well as a satisfying place to end it. So kind of packing that up.
It kind of felt cool when they had beaten them all, and it was like, oh, they're free now. And especially like saving the trainees and stuff. That was all cute. I think maybe it could have worked better if like Beth and Alicia had retreated and they had to fight them. But even then, they weren't the most built-up characters.
Yeah. I do think it's funny.
It does feel like...
No, go for it.
It does feel like there was a lack of a central bad guy. Like maybe like there should have been like a more evil scientist guy that they all knew and was more evil, and then he transformed and they had to like fight him or something. I don't know. It's just there was like a lack of sort of like an overcoming threat. Though towards the end, it did feel like they had like a contingency plan for everything. It was like, oh, this is why they haven't been destroyed before. But then when I don't know. When all the girls turned on him, it's like, oh, that's kind of all it took.
Yeah, frankly, that was definitely very unconvincing to me. The way that, like, just Maria not killing them was enough for every single Claymore to be like, yeah, we got to turn on everything we know. Like I feel like they've spent so much of this story having this whole turning against the organization thing be unimaginable to every single Claymore. And I'm kind of shocked that
Yes.
it was made out to be so straightforward for such a large group of them. Just because of Maria. And honestly, I mean, Maria has the charisma where I could be convinced a little bit, and that's why I don't like hate it, but it's definitely pushing it.
They kind of they're doing a thing right now where it's kind of they're doing a collective experience thing where it's like it kind of seems like they all just wanted to like have this sisterhood, and that's like deep down what like whenever they were mean, it was because of a lack of that. Whereas I feel like before this, like with the ones we've met previously, they've individualized them so much that it felt like almost they were the reason why they couldn't like unionize, I guess. Where it was like Ophelia was so out there and crazy, like she wasn't going to get along with anybody, and that was kind of her shtick. And like even Mariah and Deneve, when we first meet them, are very distant and stuff like that. But now, like all of the other girls, they're kind of all just one character who sort of have the same want. And it's a very like a victim mentality want, I guess. And it now they do kind of say like everybody was called back, and the fact that they realized they had to fight another Claymore was like, and that she wasn't killing them. So I kind of get why it would switch in their mind a little bit. And it also seems like they all had like pent up aggression against the organization. But even then, again, even like our group, like Deneve and Helen, I think it took convincing for them to even possibly believe the organization was wrong. And it was also the case with Priscilla. I think she was like the biggest one where it was like she was very like by the rules and was trying to figure out why Teresa would ever disobey the rules and stuff like that. I think now this has to come back and have some sort of impact on the end. But I think going back and reading those initial Priscilla when she's still like a girl Claymore, I think that would be a very interesting characterization to keep in mind for this one.
I agree.
For the current Priscilla. I think because what I'm scared of is like that's kind of just ignored, and she just is the bad guy that's sort of fallen from grace or something. But I think with a Teresa moment, she could very much revert to that, and sort of with her memories coming back properly, she could become more like that, and we could get some sort of resolution to why she was like that and stuff like that, and that could be exciting. But who knows? But yes, it does feel like they sort of grouped them all together, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said that they've kind of set up this next generation of Claymores to be a bit more open-minded, I guess, and the organization has definitely lost a lot of its like weight in this new generation after the battle in the North. So I can kind of see why like they've been kind of slowly losing influence. But it is just too unanimous. That really is it. It's just too unanimous.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's too unanimous to me. I don't know. I guess it's just because so many of them are faceless. Do we know how many of them ended up dying? Did any of them end up dying?
I'm sure that a couple of them must have. Like, did Nikki die? I don't think Nikki died. Of the named characters, I don't think anyone died.
Yeah, because there's the group, and then basically all the number ones jump out, and there's like a lot of blood splatter. But they could have just survived. There was a lot of blood splatter in Mariah's situation.
I don't think I'm ever gonna believe it if Deneve dies. Because she gets like split in half so many times in this story. I cannot imagine Deneve dying. She's a monster. She regenerates. Like that regeneration thing was kind of like that was her thing when she was introduced, but they have really pushed it. Like it's crazy how much they beat her up.
Yeah, I don't think her or Helen are dying, and I don't think any of the more side ones are going to die. So it really is just Mariah or Claire, which I also don't really think are dying, and Galatier, who I guess I could see dying because she really hasn't done much.
We still have to
Hmm.
have Clarissa and Miyata do something because they've been kind of just camping out in Rabona since that battle, and they have not done much. And Miyata's been hyped up to be like this crazy strong Claymore, and she hasn't really. I feel like she hasn't really shown off that strength yet.
Okay,
So,
I got an idea, right?
yeah.
Priscilla punches Clarice, and she looks like she's dead on the ground, and she has a big moment where she powers up and she gets one hit on Priscilla before Priscilla whacks her, and that's the moment. And it's like, oh, she was really strong. And Priscilla even comment like, this one has potential.
I do feel like she is kind of Priscilla-esque in like her demeanor. She's very like
a little bit.
She's like hyped up to be this crazy strong Claymore, but her demeanor is very like childish and timid. So I wonder. I don't know. I don't see a world where Claymore does not end. Like I don't see it ending with like kind of starting another cycle. Like it's clearly there's going to be a very different status quo by the end of this. But if they're going to have another Priscilla-esque awakening happen, I could see it being her. But I don't think that would be very interesting.
No, she has the potential thing, but yeah. I think what it's basically going to be is like, oh, the organization is gone. I don't know. I guess there's still some Yoma around. Maybe we go and hunt them down. Or maybe the Claymores just become... Like, I think they're still going to be Claymoring around. I don't know if it's just to, like, help solve disputes or something. But I think they'll all, like, be working in some more moral way or something.
Yeah, true. They'll be like, now the warriors are protecting humans for real. And that's going to be...
Where they're all
Claymore.
allowed in the great city of Rabona or whatever.
Rabona's the new organization.
Silver-eyed angels. True, they work for the church. That's a great organization. Nothing bad could happen there. I have a little note here that's funny. We started calling Uma Yuma now. What do you think?
I was going to comment on that. I genuinely was like, did I misremember? I was gaslighting myself a little bit. The story was gaslighting me. Yeah, I guess we may have switched translations halfway through. But yeah, I'm still calling her Uma. You know? I'm not calling her Yuma. I've already made up my mind.
You can pronounce it the same way, I guess.
Yuma,
right?
Yeah, I guess you go Yuma, and that's kind of it. Yeah, all right, Yuma.
But like Uma Thurman or Yuma, I don't know a famous Yuma. So, but yeah, there's a Y now at the front. It used to be just UMA for maybe.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, true. Maybe I was just calling her Uma, but it should have been Yuma with just it. Yeah, I guess that's. You know what? Yeah, let's go with that. She's Yuma now.
Weird. I don't know. I'll intertwine between them.
yeah, fair.
Asa, Isa, Rees, Reze. What are we supposed to do here?
Yeah, I feel like we are frankly never aligned on pronunciation of names, and I've accepted
Galatier,
that. Yeah, Galatier versus Galatea. Maria versus Mariah. Lots of fun ones there.
Anastasia versus Anesthesia.
Did you say anesthesia?
Anesthesia?
No way.
Wait.
I mean, that could be honestly.
Alicia
that could be
and
her
Alice.
Oh yeah, Alice and Alicia. Well, to be fair, I do think the translation changed for Alice to Alicia. I feel like that. Totally
Alicia
happened.
and Alicia.
Yes. Maybe I misremembered Alice.
Because that's the
Alicia versus Alicia. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think it's Alicia.
That definitely is the last
Beth or
way her name
Bath?
was said. No one said that. That never happened.
Bath. That's like a song guy, right? Or is that some old composer guy named Bath or something, or both, or Botch, or
maybe
these are all different people. Never mind. The Great Beth. Who could forget?
The Great Beth.
What have we not talked about yet is interesting.
I feel like, there were kind of only, 2 real honestly, no, it's kind of only one real battle that happened here like we wrapped up. We were really right at the end,
the end
of the last battle. We probably could have pushed it a little bit longer, but that it kind of wrapped up. Alicia Beth really kind of wasted. I don't know why we introduced them just to kill them and then come to the organization where there's another set of twins. It's like generation 2 of them. Felt like we could have just fleshed them out a bit more. So I was pretty underwhelmed by that.
Yeah.
And then Maria solo goes to the organization, and from there it's the organization battle. I do think, I'm curious if you felt the same way, but I really liked Tabitha in this set of chapters. I felt like Tabitha got some good characterization. Her, Cynthia,
yes,
and
Tabitha
Yuma.
And that other one.
Yuma and Cynthia?
I know which one Yuma is. I don't think I can still tell the other two apart.
Cynthia's the one with the 2 braids on the side, and she has like the bangs. She's the one who's like the healer, and then Tabitha is the tracker with the single braid.
She's the Mariah one. Yes, okay.
Yes, she's the one Mariah like cut down.
Cut in half, my goodness.
Which was crazy. Like I almost didn't think that was Tabitha at first because I was so shocked.
That was a crazy chapter start, yeah.
And I felt like that was like really good characterization for Tabitha. Just kind of the fact that she was dispatched so Mariah could go off alone. She kind of feels responsible for it. She feels like she was too weak and had to be left behind. I think they've done a good job of characterizing Tabitha, Yuma, and Cynthia around the fact that they are not as capable fighters as the rest of the group. But I don't know.
Like other roles.
They are still underwhelming, and I still wish we had more of them. Maybe more background for them, like emotionally, but I did at least like Tabitha more. I've always liked Cynthia because I liked her design, and I like her role as the healer. I think that's fun. And Yuma has always been the weakest one, so whenever she does something and is actually capable, I think that's cool. But Tabitha was kind of the other one for a while, so I'm glad she had something. Did you hone in on that at all, or is this a whatever point?
I mean, yeah. I kind of like that they're not as fleshed out. I kind of like when you just have side characters kind of in the background. Like, and when the one of them was nearly dead, like, man, I wish she wasn't nearly dead right now, bleeding.
Yeah, I think Cynthia, right, was kind of...
So I care about them at least a little bit.
Yeah. I like that Yuma learned how to heal. I think that was cool. I thought it was very funny.
Try and help.
At the after the organization fight, Yuma was helping to heal people, like healing the trainees, and then one of the trainees like caught on how to do the healing and was immediately doing it better than her. I think that's hilarious. I feel like Yuma's got to have a moment because she's the weakest one of the group, but she's already popping off. So I don't know.
Well, she kind of had a moment, where she killed something.
Yeah, while Cynthia was out of commission,
like,
she defended them. That was cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure everybody will get a little moment here. And that could also be what like fighting these random awakened guys is. Like everybody sort of gets
True, yeah, like you said. That makes sense.
A kill, maybe.
I think Deneve was really cool.
But yeah, I think
section.
I've done...
I'll go for it. No, what were you thinking?
Yeah, she's like clearly the third strongest one. I was just saying, I think she's clearly the third strongest one. I mean, she always was by number, I guess. Well, I guess Claire is still like the worst number or whatever.
Yeah,
but that doesn't really count. It's like Naruto being a genin even at the end. It's cute though. I like it.
I guess. Do you think there is any more organization left? Because like so many people got away, and we still have the one guy who's like the spy who was working with them. The guy with the hat,
the spy guy, and the spy guy Ruble or whatever, and the
actual like scientist dude.
The scientist guy. They're definitely going to be around. For the final thing. But I think what we get is like in the final chapter we get a little flash to everybody with a little narrator note about what they're doing. It'll be like the organization is still at war with their enemies, and it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon or something, and that'll be like the last we hear about them. I don't think they're going to have any impact, really.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like we are leading up to an ending that is like the world goes on for sure. Like, I don't, obviously, it's going to be a big status quo shift, but I don't think we are going to have resolution on everything. Like you said, I don't think we're leaving the island. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, to be honest. To be fair, they didn't.
Chapters or something.
Yeah. To be fair, they didn't make me very interested in what's happening off of the island. It's just kind of there right now. And there's definitely much more. All the characters are very focused on the island. No one's really interested in resolving anything off the island. So I don't really care if we don't see it. Do you care at all?
Yeah. It was a cool concept, I guess, and I think in a larger story, the goal probably would have been to do something with it. But yeah, I'm like kind of happy for Claymore to end without doing it, I guess. But it's kind of in accepting that it is sort of a smaller scale story in a bunch of these regards that have already sort of wrapped up. But yeah.
Yeah, I do think that would be an opportunity for it to really go off the rails, and I don't mind it staying focused and just leaving you curious.
It is kind of the...
But I'm not really curious.
Yeah, it is
to be fair.
Yeah, I guess I'm vaguely curious. It is really the Attack on Titan thing, where it's like, do you pivot for like the final arc to be a very different manga? And it kind of has to be a long one too if you're going to get involved. Do you choose a side in a war? That's probably not going to happen. Do you be a third side? Do you somehow make the Claymores sue the two sides for peace? That seems weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I do think in that sense...
Maybe the reveal will be Teresa actually did go fight in the war or something.
That would be crazy.
That's why she was the coolest.
I do think it is in the story's best interest to leave it in the background, though. I agree with that. I don't think...
I mean, yeah, we're absolutely not doing it.
Yeah. And I don't think that's really a negative for the story at all. I think, if anything, it is playing it safe, but also kind of being smart to not try to engage with it. But who knows? I mean, I feel like a lot can happen in 20-something chapters. There's still room, but if we were going to go and resolve anything over there... Yeah, I'm true. That's a good point. If we're going to spend time with those guys. I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about... Like, are you anticipating an ending that's going to surprise you? Or do you feel like you see where this is going?
Not really. I guess that there's kind of the meta of like, I feel like if Claymore had some sort of epic ending, I probably would have heard about it, and I haven't. So there's that aspect. But that's not always true. Sometimes things just fly under the radar. But I really think it'll just be a Teresa moment that's like the emotional hook, I think.
Maybe.
But also, yeah, I think the lack of the exploring the undercontinent, I think definitely there's probably a pretty sizable like Claymore missed opportunity crowd. And I feel like that'll kind of be like the chief example of why even introduce this if you're not going to do anything with it. I don't know. I respect both sides. I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool for it to just be a background detail and for this to be a story that doesn't focus on that. But it is also like, it does tease something larger that really isn't explored and is unresolved, certainly at the end of the story.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people really don't like unresolved things. Especially, like, it's not even something that's left ambiguous on purpose, where it's, like, interesting or thematic or something like that. It is just kind of like a thing that was mentioned that's happening over here.
Yeah.
And it also is, like, a large piece of motivation for one of our biggest players, kind of the defining starting player of the whole thing. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a mix, but...
I do kind of see the why even bother... bringing it up side of it, because I don't know, if it feels like an attempt to make the world feel larger without really investing in it, and I feel like that's what really makes me not care for it much. Like, this isn't a story that really cared to go in on building the world and fleshing things out like that, so I don't really feel like I need to know. I think Attack on Titan, for example, really tried to build out the inner world that it had, and then that made the expansion of scope feel underdeveloped because you didn't get that same level of thorough detail for the remaining world. But I feel like the outside world's probably being given just as much development as the island itself. This isn't a story that cares about it, so I don't really care about it.
Yeah. I agree with that. The last note, because I've read through them a little bit, the only note that I haven't really said at all is just Raki is the protector of womankind. My goodness. I guess we kind of touched on that, but that's funny.
That's the thing, man.
All the girls.
I feel like Raki is such a self-insert
Sometimes you just
guy.
need a man in the house, you know?
Yeah,
that's women.
That is exactly what it feels like to read a Raki scene. Because he's just so gassed up. The author truly loves Raki and wants you to think Raki's so cool. Like, you, reader, could grow up to be just like Raki. That's how it feels.
I kind of want to look up a Claymore character, like, popularity poll and see if, like, Raki is, like, the second most popular guy because this isn't a shonen magazine.
I do think he honestly... I feel like he must be popular. I feel like everybody's saying, like, the Chad Raki.
We did remove him from the story.
Yeah, fair. I'm sure Maria and Galatea are high up there. Maybe not Galatea. Maybe, depending on how the ending goes, maybe nobody would be really that focused on her. But Maria's definitely got to be a lot of people's number one. I wouldn't be surprised.
So I found a Reddit one really quick. So this isn't like a Japanese popularity poll. This is just this Claymore Reddit one. But Teresa is number one, then Claire, then Mariah, then Galatea, then Helen, then Reefel, then Isley, then Claritz, then Elena. Is this a character we don't know yet?
Yeah, maybe stop looking at that.
Ophelia, Raki. Oh, names aren't going to hurt us. Raki, Cynthia, Jean, and then everybody else has got like one vote.
Yeah, I mean, this all makes sense.
So Raki is not very popular there.
Of course, Teresa's going to be the top.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
I mean,
there's no single official poll, says AI. Fan discussions in forum place Teresa, the Faint Smile, and Priscilla, the Awakened One, as top contenders of popularity.
I'm surprised.
Often followed
Priscilla's
by powerful figures like Isley, Reefel. Yeah. Priscilla, yeah.
I wonder.
Maybe she has a great ending. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it is just all in the ending for her. I don't know. I don't.
She has a pretty cool design.
Does she? I mean, look, I think she looked really cool when she came in and one shot.
You've always been hating on these designs.
Yeah. I think she looked cool when she came in and one shot Alicia and Beth. I think that was kind of awesome. But she just, like, in her kind of human form with one hand just took the head off of, I think it was Beth. That was pretty cool. That was crazy, honestly. But I don't know. After Isley, I feel like all of the ability of the story to shock me has kind of gone. Because that was just kind of ripping off the Band-Aid. Now I'm used to it. I don't know. I don't know what it could really do to surprise me at this point or make me like it more than I already do. Like, it's still sitting at an 8. Again, I don't see an ending making it better or worse. I think it will just end. Are you still sitting at the 8?
There's the possibility. Well, I was leaning towards more of a 9 last time, I think, but I am probably back more to an 8. But I think there is a potentiality for an emotional moment between Claire, Teresa, and Priscilla that would like knock it up. Yeah, and especially make the ending really good. Yeah, but it's a wait and see scenario, I guess. I'm not really too confident either way. Now, it is. I will say, at the beginning, you were very happy with these chapters, and I feel like I brought you down a little bit. So
yeah, I don't know where that came from. I don't know where all this negativity came. I think it's just me thinking about, as much as I like these chapters, what is it building towards? And so far, not really keen on anything that's building towards. I just think it's going to end. I think, I don't know. I think it really stands out to me that last section of chapters, Maria wasn't doing anything. This section of chapters, Maria was doing things.
She was doing
and that's why I liked it
Claire
more.
Was not in them.
And honestly, though, it's so true because I still am not really invested emotionally in Claire. I didn't really. I don't know. I was excited to see the Rocky reunion just because I was excited for the drama it might bring, but so far it's been pretty straightforward. So,
Yeah.
I'm still. I don't know. Like you said, I haven't heard anything about the Claymore ending being really good. And I also haven't really heard anything about it being really bad. I did see it mentioned once in like a Reddit post of like, what manga endings disappointed you most and ruined the story or whatever. And like all of them were like Attack on Titan, as they do. But then like one guy said Claymore and I had a couple upvotes. So that's all that I have informing my opinion. But I'm sure people.
Do you think it's because she didn't kill that bitch Priscilla?
It probably totally is, because I don't. If this ends with a very straightforward, we kill Priscilla and yippee, I would be like shocked. That would be the most shocking thing you could do at this point. Play it completely straight.
I'm open to them killing Priscilla. I don't think it'll be like a rah-rah thing if they do.
It'll be like putting her out of her misery kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of
like
what
a
I
Levi Zeke type ending more than a.
Oh, so true. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
I don't know what an example of an actual revenge happening is. But yeah, I'm all out of notes over here. So if you've got some to go through, run them down.
Let's see.
We might be wrapping this up a little early.
I think, I guess miscellaneous things. I think Helen is way more capable than I thought she was, because she really holds her own in a lot of these fights. I kind of thought she'd be silly, but mostly just for comic relief and not really useful, but she keeps up. So I enjoyed Helen just like I did in the last section. I think I understand why she's so high in popularity. I think she's just fun. And yeah,
she's definitely got personality.
Yeah. I think overall the main cast is really strong, and I think they've done a good job of, I think I said this last time too, but making the Claymores all feel distinct, at least the ones that they actually give names to, despite like they all look very, very similar, just like have different hair and different personalities, but I think it is an achievement of the story of how distinct they all feel despite that. So I do like that. Do you feel like they do a good job of making everyone feel distinct despite the similar
I feel like they look
looks?
Visually distinct enough now.
Yeah.
Like this one had curly hair. It's
Whoa.
Like,
I don't know. She looked a lot like
and this one,
what was her name? Flora or Floria from the Battle in the North, the wind sword.
There was a
girl.
Flora.
Yeah,
I think she had different types of curly hair.
I guess.
Oh, it is interesting.
Yeah,
because Helen's attack, she stole from Jean, right? That's like the Jean attack.
Yes, the like the single powerful thrust. Yeah.
Yeah, she did it 55 times. She said. But I don't know if like she said she learned that when they were in the north or something. But I didn't. Like she was doing that all the time. And
in the time skip.
Somebody else used to do that.
I think it was in the time skip. But yeah, you're right. She has kind of...
Yeah.
The story does that a lot. They kind of invent techniques and put it into a disposable character so that one of the main characters can inherit it. And I thought it was funny that...
like
what's her name?
Woods?
Roxanne kind of...
Well, yeah, that was her thing.
Feels like it almost feels like a bit. like a joke of like playing that up, where she's like this kind of sinister form of inheriting people's techniques, but that's like something we see kind of done out of respect leading up to this point.
Oh yeah, I guess it was like she was like it wasn't actually learning. That's why she lost
yes, it wasn't from understanding and carrying on their will.
Point, yeah.
She admired them until she felt like she was better than them. I really, really liked the Cassandra Roxanne stuff. I think that was awesome. Hysteria, I think that was her name. She was also there.
Yeah, it was good.
She was there. She was cool. But yeah, Roxanne Cassandra was fun, and I thought it was cool that Cassandra just left. I would have liked it if she just left, but she is going for Priscilla, it seems.
She is like an element we haven't really talked about too much. It's going to be some sort of plot device for Priscilla, but she's probably going to fight a little bit too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not certain how
there was that thing of like
we'll find out, I guess.
Priscilla's will being like tied to the three of them, like because they killed Hysteria, and then there's like apparition of Priscilla
because of the arm
showed up because the arm. Yeah, I feel like that has still there's still more to be explained there. I don't know. Do you feel like you have a clear understanding of what's happening there? Because I feel
that's probably just why she does what Priscilla wants, right?
Yeah, I just wonder how that
like that's why she's
even
coming
happened.
To save her.
Oh, because they used the arm to awaken them, right? That was
the arm to like revive them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I say awaken, but I guess that's a loaded term for Claymore. Yeah, revive.
Well, they awakened and then awakened them.
True, but they weren't really. They did make a point to say like they weren't actually really alive. It was like kind of like I don't know.
But they kind of were.
They kind of were. They had their memories. It was weird. Fast and loose. Claymore's very fast and loose.
I thought they were going to be like zombied out.
But yeah, I thought they would be a bit more mindless monster situation. They were fun. They were fun, but I do think the organization as a whole is probably one of the most disappointing parts of the story. I feel like the elimination of them here, I kind of feel like nothing has changed. I mean, we just have all the Claymores on one side, which is nice and all. We don't have but I'm breaking the rules every time they help each other. But it was such a whatever point that I'm not really that happy, or I don't feel anything about the organization being taken down. If there were more people who stayed loyal to it and like the fighting them, like it really felt like turning on something that we once cared about, that would be cool, but it doesn't really feel that way at all. I don't know. You said you felt like it was satisfying. I did like when Maria raised the head and gave her like her. I don't know. That was cool.
A little
Maria's
weird.
cool.
I was like, okay. I didn't expect them to like cheer that. It was like, this is a little brutal, but okay, fine. They're bad guys. I get it. But yeah, I don't know. They're done. They beat them. It was cool. They're free. I thought it was fine. And you're the one that's supposed to like these chapters.
Yeah, I guess so.
Damn. So,
what do you think the final status quo is going to be? What does the world look like after the end of Claymore?
I think it's kind of what I said earlier, where the Claymores are Claymoring. I don't know what they're exactly Claymoring against, but they're like, they got their little continent here, and there's no organization or evil awakened ones anymore, and they're accepted by the public. And then Raki and Claire are gonna kiss. My goodness, get excited!
Oh my god,
kiss
right?
Again.
Yeah.
Let's
do you
not
think
forget they did it again?
Do you think a romantic ending for them? Do you think that's actually likely?
No. Because the reunion was so not that, I don't think it's going to happen. Like, maybe he will kiss her, but it's not going to be like, we're not going to flash forward to kids and holding hands, I don't think.
Can Claymores even have kids?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? I feel like they're kind of a little messed up. Do they have a natural lifespan? Do Claymores age because they don't, right?
They don't age, but like I think it's just assumed that they would like awaken after a few years, and that's why they have like short lifespans.
Oh, I guess that's
probably not going to happen
for them, because I doubt they're definitely not going to be making more Claymores after this.
No.
So will they all just eventually awaken? And I don't know. There's a lot of Claymores left. That's an
I don't think they'll be.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll awaken.
Do they all die? Every Claymore has to die.
No, I don't think so. I think they just live happily ever after.
Yeah, maybe we just don't talk about it. That's also fair. It'll happen when it happens.
Like, they would only really awaken if they started fighting each other, which is not impossible, I guess, but I don't foresee that being, like, implied in the ending at all.
Okay, I guess I don't have anything else to talk about. I did like these chapters. I had a lot of fun reading them. I really did. I don't know why I'm being so negative on the battle against the organization, because I was locked in and having a lot of fun with it, and I thought Maria was cool, and I had a good time, so I don't know why. I don't know. I guess I find the critiques more interesting to talk about than gassing up the cool characters, because Claymore's got rule of cool down. Like, they know what they're doing when it comes to just making things cool. I guess it's just when I think about what happens next, I kind of think about negatives a bit more, just because I don't really feel like I have investment in the future of the story as much as I'm invested in what's happening right in front of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think definitely for me these were the hardest chapters to get through. Like, I did read a lot of them today. I was kind of dreading it every time I had to do it. I was like,
Wow.
oh, I got through 2 again. Only 20 more to go. 2 more, 18 to go. And it's like, oh, now it's 6 more to go. And I'm a little more optimistic. There was a point towards the back end where I did get more pulled in. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just because I left it too late, and I'd completely forgotten we were supposed to record this weekend until like yesterday when Mia messaged me. So that's probably my fault. But yeah, I think I'll probably read the next ones pretty quickly. I guess it just whenever you have to read something, I guess it probably just makes it a little bit more good.
Yeah.
But you had done that for I think most of them. And you still liked everything before.
It is a very bingeable story. I think it's probably best read on a binge. I think I would have been miserable if I was reading this. What was this, on weekly or monthly? This was weekly, right?
I think. No, I think it was definitely monthly.
Okay. If it was monthly, I would have been miserable reading this.
These chapters are kind of long.
Yeah, they are pretty long. That is a good point.
Monthly's better than weekly. Me and Alita argue about this all the time.
I totally
would much rather read monthly than weekly.
I do agree. I think this is just not the kind of story I would enjoy keeping up with, like, chapter to chapter. I think it has a very, I don't know, the chapters are long enough where this kind of feels like actually what it felt like reading Attack on Titan when I was binging that to catch up before the ending.
See, I feel like that's the best manga experience, like, possible. Like, Attack on Titan, every chapter felt like a big part. It like felt like something was accomplished and stuff like that. Like, that's like the ideal. Like, I don't like Chainsaw Man, it's too short. I know a lot of people don't like One Piece, it's too short. I don't like I hate Berserk doing like 15 pages every 3 months. Even like, I don't know, something like Heavenly Delusion is like 18 pages a month. But even then, because it's so episodic, you like fall in and out. Attack on Titan was very plot focused. Things that happen, I don't know. And I feel like Claymore wouldn't be too bad, actually.
Really? I feel like this whole story feels like all of the post time skip Attack on Titan, all of the like post basement Attack on Titan, Claymore just feels like that all the time, where there's clearly a bigger picture, but it's not really explored as much as I want. And it's just kind of monster battles and stuff. And it's very plot point to plot point, event driven, where I don't feel as strongly about the characters as I want to. That's kind of where I'm sitting with Claymore right now. And that's what makes me think it feels similar to Attack on Titan.
Just face it.
Because my reading experience for Attack on Titan is everything post the first part of the final season. Final season part 1. That's when I started reading. So right when the invasion on Parody starts, that's when I started reading.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's what I'm thinking of when I think this is similar to the Attack on Titan reading experience. And I would have hated to read those chapters monthly. Probably chapter 1?
No, it was about chapter 49 or 50 or something. It was the Uprising arc. It was in 2014. My
That's
goodness
crazy.
gracious me. I was reading that for 8 years monthly. Epic. So that is kind of wild.
Do you feel like the
But I guess
monthly
I was much
experience
more
changed?
ingrained in the rhythm. Um, I mean, it definitely changed when I started making YouTube videos about
Oh,
them.
fair.
But it was very interesting. Like my life was kind of built around it for like 8 years, where it was like, oh, it's nearly the end of the month. You know what that means? That's exciting. That means that Attack on Titan chapter is coming out in like a week. And it was like always that where you were like hoping it was the end of the month because it would be close. Even though I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
chapters came out on like the 5th or 6th. So it gets into your, I don't know, it's so a part of the rhythm, I guess, of
It's
my
how Vinland
general
was for me.
life. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I caught up to that before you too, you know, no biggie.
Yeah, you most definitely did.
Pretty cool over here.
I was a fake fan who
But
came
I
from the
definitely
anime.
let Vinland true, disgusting. I let Vinland stack up a few times though, so I wasn't as on that one. But I did remember it. Vinland was always like 24 to 26th of the month.
Yup.
For a while they were both coming out. It was crazy.
So, do you think you would have
That's true.
enjoyed Claymore monthly?
I definitely would have. I feel like I would have maybe lost interest at certain parts. I think it definitely would have been more confusing. Like it's a thing where it's like, and I like speculation kill. I think would kill Claymore. Like thinking about
I
what's going
totally
to happen
agree.
and be like, oh, this is how this is going to happen, and then Islay just dies the next chapter, and you're like, what the fuck? Whereas
100%.
in a binge, it's like very much like oh, we're over here now. That's weird, and we're over here now. Like I could see like, oh, you're with Deneve and Helen for a chapter, and you're like, oh, nothing's gonna happen that's interesting or important here. But when the way we read it, it's like, oh, funny Helen and Deneve chapter. This is pretty cool.
Yes, 100%.
But yeah,
I don't think I would
I don't think
like
it's
this monthly. I think because what I like in a monthly manga is being able to come back every month and have just like a kind of standalone episode that is worth talking about on its own without even having to consider like what's coming next, what comes before. And I don't feel like Claymore has that because especially post Battle in the North, it has just been battle after battle after battle. And the battles are good, but if I had to like read the fight against the organization monthly, I think I would have kind of been really
like
down on it. Because like, yeah, I enjoyed Roxanne and Cassandra because I was just like reading it all in one night. And I was like, these characters are fun. But if I was like, if they were like, here's these 3 new number ones that you've never met before and they're super strong, and then I had to go a couple months of reading that, I probably would have not been happy.
Yeah, I can see that. The I don't know, Claymore is very, very much a battle show, so it's or series rather. So it definitely, I don't know. I guess I've never really read one of those too much monthly. Like even with Attack on Titan, they would constantly cut around because there would be like 7 different little battles happening. But yeah. But Claymore ended, and now we get to read it all in a go. So aren't we just in the luckiest position?
I do, yeah, I do actually think I'm glad I'm reading it now instead of month, which is interesting because I usually when I read a story and I really like it and like it's like an 8 or above, I'm like, man, I wish I was there for the conversation. I wish I was, I was able to take this in and engage with the community on it as it's going and be able to speculate. Do not feel that way with Claymore at all. I am so glad I get to read it all at once and I don't have to wait because I don't think I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like picky.
Yeah, even to like also to like keep up with something monthly, you have to keep up with something monthly, you really have to be invested in it, I think. And I feel like Claymore could definitely lose you for periods. I'll be like, oh, I'll check back in a few months. Like I'm like behind on Berserk and Heavenly Delusion. I think those are the only ones I'm behind on. Usually I was behind on Vinland, but that's over now. And like I would never have missed an Attack on Titan chapter. And I feel like you can only really have one manga at a time the way you're very into it. I guess
do agree.
Shitty Chainsaw Man is that now. But yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting.
I
It
could
would have been
definitely see this being one where I
a
try to
different
keep up with it
approach.
monthly, but I just wouldn't really. I would, because Berserk is this way with me right now, unfortunately, where I read the new chapters that come out and I'm like, yep, that's a chapter that progressed events, and then I don't really think about it anymore. I feel like this would have been very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm behind on Berserk too, and I'm supposed to be a Berserk boy, so what the fuck do I know about anything? But also that guy fucking died, you know, so it's like a fake story and stuff.
Okay, last thing. What is for the ending? Are you expecting to like it, or well, I don't know. Are you expecting like it, dislike it, or indifferent?
I think I'll like it. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be good.
I'm leaning towards
Teresa,
indifferent.
something.
I'm leaning towards indifferent because I just frankly don't know what it could do that would like. Because if it's just more like cool characters or a farming, I'll be happy and I will enjoy reading it. But I might feel like I might be in the missed opportunity camp.
You just hate Claymore, just admit it.
I just don't want to set my expectations too high, I think. I think I'm just trying not to overhype it for myself.
It's tactful, I see.
Tactful.
It's tactful.
Whatever. I liked these chapters. I'm being overcritical. I was like, I was excited to come into this discussion and be like, I like Claymore again. And now we're back to
and I killed it.
Whatever.
I
You know what?
I gaslighted, I gatekeeped, and I go boss.
So
all over
true.
you.
So true.
It was embarrassing.
I think I just need to accept what the story wants to be, because when I'm reading, it's doing what I think it should do. I'm like,
Such
yeah,
defeatist language.
I don't know. Like,
I just gotta accept my
priorities.
Claymore
It's not a character driven story, so it's okay. I don't know. I just compare things too much, probably. When it comes to discussion,
Comparison is the thief of joy.
so true. And my joy
Now
is
the-
when Maria cuts people's heads off. Hell yeah.
Yes. You cheered like the crowd, and I said, that's not okay, guys. We shouldn't be doing that.
I genuinely did.
Um,
Oh yeah. I was like, that's my go. Love Maria. All right.
that was
well,
my goat,
That
guy. But now he's dead.
What guy?
I loved how he abused all those women for 100 generations. That was pretty cool.
Oh, the organization guy. Yeah,
The
what was his
headless
name?
guy.
Limped, was that his name?
Yes, there was an N, an L, and a T, and a vowel.
Yeah.
So
When I saw that name, I like read it as like limit, and I was like, did they like misspell that? And it's just a name. It's just Limped. That's the guy. Yeah, organization is so whatever. Yeah, okay. I hate Claymore. Boom. All right.
okay.
Next one is going to be the last one. So what? We have 20,
The last manga one, at least.
20 true.
We'll see after
24
that.
chapters, right?
Yeah. I think they're 32 to 55.
Yes,
There's
you're right.
one.
Yeah. 155 is going to be the end. I'm looking forward to it.
My goodness.
It'll be fun. Any final thoughts?
It'll be over. It'll be crazy. I think we had a bit of bad lag for most of this conversation. But,
Oh, yeah.
I hope it wasn't too bad for the audience members. My internet has been shitty for the last few discussions. If you watch the Jockey Bacon, I'm in chillin' mode. This is genius.
Perfect.
The Jockey Bacon Steins Gate movie discussion, it was a little bad. The Chainsaw Man movie discussion me and Ari did, it was a little bad too. But I'll try and fix it. I don't know.
There's been a couple cuts, but I don't think it's ever been difficult to know what you're saying. So I think we're good.
Well, yeah, it was clear that like I was starting a sentence when I thought you were done, but it was just a time sync issue.
Yeah.
I think we were a few seconds off. But no, actually, we hate each other and we interrupt each other all the time.
So
actually, who could tell with me? Because I do interrupt sometimes. But this time,
and you do have a
it's
hateful
definitely
heart.
some delayed reactions. I do, but I do love Claymore, unlike you, who hates it.
So true.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Links below. Go to Kyle's channel. Go watch every other discussion we've ever had to gain context on Fire Punch and Portrait of a Lady on Fire and
Portrait of a Lady
Saga.
on Fire. Oh.
And go watch Chainsaw Man discussions and give Kyle so many views.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, bye.